I was a bridesmaid at my ex's wedding, and they never saw it coming. 3 years ago, I caught my fiancé in bed with my best friend. 2 weeks ago, I stood beside them as a bridesmaid at their wedding. And at exactly 8:37 p.m. that night, every phone in the reception started vibrating. They thought I had forgiven them. They had absolutely no idea I'd been collecting evidence for almost 3 years. And by the time the first guest opened their email, the marriage was already over. We had been together for 7 years. 7! Not 7 months, 7 years. We owned a house together. We had a dog. We had names picked out for our future kids. And her? She was one of my closest friends. Almost 10 years. Birthdays, road trips, breakups, graduations. She knew everything about me. Then one Thursday afternoon, I came home 3 days early from a work trip. I wanted to surprise him. Turns out I was the one who got surprised. I opened the bedroom door, and there they were. They looked terrified. I looked at both of them, closed the door, walked downstairs, got in my car, and left. No screaming, no throwing things, no dramatic speeches, nothing. 3 days later, I sent one text. "Your belongings are in storage. The key is under the mat." And then I blocked both of them. For months, I was destroyed. I drank too much. I barely slept. I replayed that moment over and over. And I thought about revenge. Every kind. Destroying his car, exposing them online, calling their families. But then one night I had a realization. If I attacked them, they would become victims. They'd tell everyone I was crazy. They'd bond over how toxic I was, and somehow I'd become the villain. So I made a decision. I would do absolutely nothing. I would wait. And that's when something strange started happening. Because while I wasn't talking to them, I could still see pieces of their lives. Little things, photos, check-ins, comments. And one thing became very obvious. He hadn't changed, not even a little. The same man who cheated with my best friend was now cheating on her. Again, and again, and again. Different women, different cities, different weekends. And every time I saw proof, I saved it. 2.5 years later, I got a Facebook message request. It was from her. I almost deleted it, but then I opened it. "We're getting married. We've grown. We know we hurt you. We want to make things right. Would you be one of my bridesmaids?" Every friend I had told me to block her. Instead, I replied with 2 words. I'd love to. But then something happened that almost ruined my entire plan. 3 weeks before the wedding, she called me. She was crying. Real crying, not fake crying. She told me she was pregnant. She told me she regretted everything. She told me she wanted us to be friends again. And for the first time in almost 3 years, I almost forgave her. I actually considered canceling everything. Then 2 days later, I found evidence he'd been cheating again, while she was pregnant. And that decision became very easy. The wedding day arrived. It was beautiful. Perfect weather, perfect venue, perfect photos. 120 guests, everyone smiling. Everyone celebrating a love story that never actually existed. The ceremony finished, the reception started, the speeches began, and eventually, it was my turn. I stood up, took a breath, and gave the nicest speech of my entire life. I talked about friendship. I talked about growth. I talked about second chances. I made people laugh. I made people cry. I made her cry. I made him cry. Then I ended with this. I've always believed that truth has a way of finding people, no matter how long it takes. Everyone applauded. Nobody understood. I sat down and looked at my watch. 8:35 p.m. 2 minutes. The bride kissed the groom. 8:36. They started dancing. 1 minute. I smiled. 30 seconds. 20. 10. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. 8:37 p.m. One phone buzzed. Then another. Then another. And another. And another. Soon, almost every guest in the room was staring at their screen. The email came from an old account connected to cloud storage we'd once shared years earlier. Inside was a folder. Hotel bookings, dating app receipts, screenshots, messages, proof. 3 years of proof. Every affair, every lie, every betrayal. Documented. I'll never forget the look on his face, because he didn't know what was happening at first. Then he saw her face. Then he saw everyone else's. And suddenly, he knew. The room went silent. No music, no dancing, no celebration. Just 120 people realizing they'd been watching a performance. I left before anyone spoke to me. I got in my car and drove home. 11 days later, the marriage was over. I never answered their calls. I never responded to their messages. I never spoke to either of them again. People still ask me if I went too far. Maybe I did. But here's what I know. If I had screamed at the wedding, they would have become victims. They would have stood together. They would have survived it. Instead, I stepped aside and let the truth introduce itself. People think revenge is destroying someone's life. It isn't. Revenge is letting people suffer the consequences of the choices they made when they thought nobody was watching. So tell me, did I go too far? Or did they?